According to feedingamerica.org, in 2019, 34 million Americans were in poverty. That's about $25,000 a year for an entire family of four. Closer to home, college students are also hard hit, with a whopping 71% of us not starting until later in our lives. That means, aside from coping with the rising cost of tuition, we're also holding down jobs, performing caregiving duties, as well as trying to support already established lifestyles. With lower and lower budgets come lower and lower food allowances. But coming close to or meeting our nutritious needs entirely does not need to be some kind of unattainable goal. We can do this with methods such as looking into social programs available to us in our area, by choosing plentiful and regionally available foods, by using up what's already in our fridge and purchasing shelf-stable canned goods to avoid waste. Doing these things, we can create meal plans which more closely mirror what the myplate.gov website recommends as a nutritious diet. First, let's talk about social programs. In Lawton, we have 2 available food banks for civilians. If you're an active duty service member or the family of one, you can tack on one more because you have one on post as well. Next, let's hop on the okdhslive.org website. Here you will find the link to apply for SNAP benefits, formerly known as food stamps. You will also find a link to take you to a place to find out what you need to do to qualify for WIC, which is for pregnant women, nursing women, and families with children under the age of 5. After you've jumped all these hoops, you can now get down to the nitty-gritty. If you qualified for any of the previous programs, congratulations, you got a leg up. If you did not, don't worry, it's okay. You can do this, I can do this, we can do this together. In fact, I have already done this. I have been supporting a family of 5 on a $300 or less a month food budget for the past few years. It can be done. We're going to talk about regionally available foods and plentiful foods. For me, growing up on the Mexican border, that meant rice, beans, and tortillas. They were everything. They were every meal, my main courses, side dishes. They were present at every holiday gathering. They were my life's blood. Later, I grew up and eventually went home with my husband to his home state and found out his regionally available food was something called scrapple. Essentially, it's a ground up scrap meat mixed with cornmeal and formed into a nice gray cube. But what I learned from that experience is not to turn up my nose, because if it fits the bill in regards to finances and nutrition, then it is a perfect buy. We're going to also talk about seasonally available foods. This might mean buying tons of strawberries and blueberries in the spring, and then buying tons of oranges and pineapple in the summer, and it might mean buying tons and tons of pears in the fall, zucchini in the winter. This is a thing you do in order to keep your freezer full. You may not eat everything you buy, but that's why we process it and stick it in the freezer. The reason I mention processing and sticking in the freezer is because it feeds directly into the next point, markdown goods. Markdown goods are what the store does when a food is overripe but not bad. They try to save money by deepening the price cut just to try to move it out the door. This is where you're going to get your best buys. You buy lots of it if you can afford it, even if you can't eat it all, because it gets processed and stuck in the freezer. This is awesome because later on throughout the week, you can pull out little bits of frozen strawberries or blueberries or chunks of banana and toss them into your already nutritious oatmeal. Throughout the year, you can take out those frozen zucchini ice cubes and toss them into your spaghetti sauce and spike your kids' foods with vegetables. That's 2 birds with 1 stone, my friend. Also, we need to make sure that it's out there. You can do this with meat too. Meat on markdown is an amazing buy. Just immediately take it home, put it right in your freezer, and don't pull it out again until right when you need it. Lastly, I want to discuss using what's already available in your refrigerator. I'm talking about not throwing out your leftovers, people. Let me give you an example. Let's say one night you're making a big pot of chili. Now I'm going to go ahead and assume it's made with lots of beans and lentils, because even in my house with our budget, meat is pretty much an additive, not a main course. Night 1, you use the chili. Night 2, you take it, split it in half, use half to make a pot of chili mac. Night 3, you make chili cheese potatoes with a side of canned vegetables. You can stretch it. Use every part of your buffalo. Use it until you can't use it anymore. Lastly, we're going to discuss the canned goods issue here. Canned goods are good past expiration date. I know it sounds weird. I thought so too and was kind of disgusted, but according to the USDA.gov website, low acidic foods such as vegetables, canned meats, and stews are good for 2 to 5 years past expiration. High acidic goods like apples and peaches and pickles and pineapple, those are good for 12 to 15 months after. Now, there's a reason why places like Ollie's and Big Lots sell this stuff. It's because it's still good. It hasn't gone bad. This is the best way to completely fill up your pantry, meet your nutritional needs, and do it on a deep, deep price cut. Stock up, my friends. The future is ours. Now, we've talked about looking into social programs. We've talked about purchasing regionally available foods and buying them seasonally. We've talked about using up all of the leftovers we can and buying appropriate canned goods. We can't always meet a nutritious diet, but we can come close to it. We can try. As long as we're in the right direction, we got something. And using these tips, I do believe we can get ourselves in the right direction. Thank you.